Hi, I'm Sokom. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up RealVNC server on Mac OS X version 10.x. It means that starting from the latest version EL Captain to the older Intel or 10.x version uh, using the public external IP address. That means that's most connection for non-business or the business that doesn't use static IP address. So why you want to do why you want to use RealVNC server? It is considered to be the most supported platform and also the most secure. Once it requires a little bit of setup, so once you get it working, it's very secure and very reliable. So in this diagram, we have a setup right here. So we have two firewalls here. Using Dynamic IP require quite a bit of setting up. So we have Linksys router as an internal IP connected to iMac, which is a server that's going to be running VNC server using IP address 192.168.1.200. So the port that we're going to be using is like 5950 if you want to define the port. And 5950 on the external firewall is actually the cable modem that has the IP address of .10.1.10.1. That is the router. I mean, that is the gateway. But the IP address that's given to the internal router is actually 10.1.10.11. So we're going to poke through the firewall through the gateways and also through the internal router in order to open access. So we have the laptop here that connects from anywhere, remote control, to connect to the internal VNC server using the real VNC, which has very strong encryption by default and the most reliable and support like all kinds of platforms, including like mobile device like Android and also like Windows or Linux as well. So the setup is quite a little bit, but once you understand it, it should be straightforward. So we have quite a few steps here that we're gonna do the setup here. So the setup that we're gonna be doing, we have six steps here, actually seven, but we're gonna go. The seven is actually just extra. So we're gonna define IP address, set up my static IP address, install VNC server, configure internal and external, which is the gateway router, and test the connection. So let's get on into hands-on setup step by step. Okay, so step one, we're gonna find the IP address, the external IP address of uh, the gateway that we're gonna try to connect to. Okay, so that's a step one. If you can see, the IP address I have is actually 173.13.xx. That means that whatever number that is, that I'm not trying to show up mine. Yours going to be X is represent whatever the number that the last two octets are. So, so we're gonna there's a way to find out. We're gonna go to the internet to find out since dynamic IP it's assigned automatically. So you need define it first so that you can connect externally. So I'm going to go to the Max or the Max. In this case, I'm using EL Captain. You can use Yosemite. You can use any other version, Intel version, I mean Mac OS X 10 version. Uh, so in this case, we're going to go to Google. Okay, we're going to go and open Safari. Okay, so we're going to try open Safari. I'm going to look up the IP address, external IP address that is assigned to that is external, okay, and not really at the gateway. That the public that is the public IP address. I'm going to go to Google now. So I'm going to do it typing what is my IP address, okay, or simply what is my IP. So you can spell out the links. I'm going to click on that link on the top here. What is my IP address? So I'm going to show up the IP address once you click on it. In this case, again, the access represents whatever your number is, and your IP address is going to be different than this, maybe whatever the IP address is. So you're going to record this number, okay? That's you're going to be using to connect remotely from them. So your remote client is going to be your remote computers going to need this IP address. So you're going to write down and record that. That is the first step that you're going to do. You find your public IP address. You can always find it. That is your gateway that you're going to be using to connect to the internal VNC server that we're going to be setting up soon. So again, the IP address here on in your case can be different than mine, and this is just an example for you to follow. Again, record it. Make sure you record that, okay? And then after that, we're gonna go to the next step, which is the second step, okay? Okay, so step two, we're gonna set up static IP address on your Mac. I mean, the Mac that you're gonna be setting up the VNC server. Okay, so why we want to set up the static IP? Because if it get changed, you won't be able to connect to. So the Mac server, Mac is the one that we're going to be installing VNC, we're going to be installing VNC server. We're going to set up to 192.168.1.200. It depends on your router. If your router have like 192.168.1 or .3, whatever, and the last number is the one you're going to be setting up. So again, depends on your router setup, and assume that you have some knowledge of the router. Okay, and then next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the Mac. Okay, we can click on the Mac. So we're going to do a configuration on the Mac side to set a static IP. So by default, the way it's set up is actually almost everyone's router is set up as a dynamic IP. I'm talking about internal IP address here. So one internal router that's giving your internal computer the IP addresses. So in this case, whatever the numbers that we're going to do, we're going to check what number that what is that IP address that's given to this Mac system here. So we're going to click on System Preferences. Or two ways you can do. Click on Apple and then System Preferences, or you just click on the dock System Preferences here. Um, so it's much easier to happen here. So you can click on the network here, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. You can see here I disabled Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is not really reliable. So I recommend you use the Ethernet connection here. If you can see the IP address is actually 192.168.1.100. So we're going to change that, and it's using DHCP. Uh, why we want to change it again? Because given IP addresses uh, dynamic IP between mostly set up like from 100 to 150. So we're going to get out of that IP range so it doesn't get conflict with the other internal device or internal network. So we're going to go to we're going to change the IP address of that to 200 here. So we want to click down here. Okay. Again, the router is actually, gateway is actually 192.68.1.1. The router acts as the gateway and the DNS as well. It's called like a local DNS. It gets resolved. So if you look at the server that's given, it's external DNS. So we're not going to use that anyway. So we're going to go and change it. So I'm going to click on the drop down here. I'm going to check. I'm going to click on manual here. Okay. And then we're going to set again. We're going to set up the address to 192.168.1.200 here. Okay, the router is a gateway as well. Okay, so we click on advanced here. Okay. You can see that the external that is the external DNS that's given. So we're not going to use that. So we're going to change that to the internal static internal DNS, which is the internal router here. Okay, so I'm going to click IPv6. We're not going to use that. I'm going to leave that anyways. We don't have to make any change to it. So we're going to click on the DNS here, and the moment we click on the plus sign, it's going to be disappeared. So that is given by the router. So we click on plus sign here. Okay, again, and we're going to enter 192.168.1.1. So in your case, whatever your router IP address is, it's going to be the DNS as well. That's internal routers and most common. Okay, .1.1. I'm going to leave the search as is. Okay, it's not going to hurt to leave it. And then we're going to click OK here. And as you can see, it changes to the DNS. DNS changes to the local DNS, which is the internal. Click on Apply here, and to make change. That's complete the change. And then next step, we're going to the step number 3. Okay, here's step number three. So we're gonna install the VNC server on the Mac machine there. Okay, and what we do again, we're gonna install VNC server on the Mac. And you can see here the Mac that's gonna be installed VNC server is gonna be set up on port 5950, but by default 5900 for VNC server. But um, you're gonna see in a second why we want to do that. And VNC server, we're gonna set up VNC server with port 5900, and again the IP address of this Mac is we call it VNC server. It's gonna be it has been set up to 192.168.1.200. So I'm gonna go to the Mac now, and as we are, from the last setup we did, we changed IP address to the 200 at the end. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna install the VNC server on this Mac. So I'm gonna go to Google again. I'm gonna go to the website. I'm gonna install the VNC server, the latest version. Okay, I'm gonna click on Google and RealVNC server. So I'm gonna type here RealVNC server. I'm sorry, RealVNC. And we got into the site here. You can see that and click on the link. You're gonna get down to the download. So we have the download trial version. Okay, we have like trial. We can do a trial for 30 days, and so I'm gonna get download in a second. So if we click on the tab here, so if you click on VNC, that is the VNC server. They don't say explicitly VNC server, but that's what that is. As you can see, VNC, real VNC has broader support of platforms, Mac. We're gonna download, since we're dealing with Mac. As you can see, 10.5. That's what this version supports. Click on download here. Okay, so we're gonna download that, and so we're gonna agree. We're gonna check that and do a download. You can do with a trial version first. Okay, and you can, as you can see, when once we click on that, it's gonna be on. It's automatically downloaded. But there is one section here that says license. This is how you get the trial version. Okay, you can do a trial installation for the license. So once you click on the license here, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna click that, and we have different version here: enterprise and standard and personal. If the download doesn't come out, you click on the follow this link. But in this case, it's already downloaded, and it looks like it's already done. So I'm not gonna open it. So I'm gonna get to the license tab here. Once you click on here, this is where it shows you. It has a personal and enterprise. So what I suggest is actually you want to use, see, it's very cheap. It used to be very expensive, but now personal is $30. So 44 for enterprise. I recommend you using that. And you can't go wrong with the enterprise version. And again, it can be very secure. As you see the features option here. So in addition to a 128-bit encryption, it's strong enough, but you can get the 256-bit encryption for enterprise. So there's a lot of extra features you can read here. So for this demo, we're gonna click on enterprise. We're gonna get the enterprise license here for trial for 30 days. So when you get into this box, all you need to do is just enter your name and your email address, and the others are optional. But of course, you want to select the country you have. So in this case, United States here. Wherever you live here, you can put what that is, and then you can click on continue here. So I'm not gonna fill up because I'm already done it. So in your case, you can follow it. It should be straightforward. Once you click on continue, fill out the information, you're gonna get your license on the license page, and also you're gonna get an email as well. So you're gonna be using this license to install, okay, for the trial version. So you're not done yet. You're gonna click on download again. So this is the server part that we are downloading. We're gonna download the VNC viewer that we're gonna be using for the remote computer. Okay. So we click on viewer tab here. There's a lot of them, a lot of support here. So VNC viewer is actually it's free, but again, in order for it to download, you need to enter information. And for this purpose, I'm gonna use Windows as the remote computer. but it doesn't matter what platform you're using, whether Mac or PC, Mac or PC, Windows or Linux. The setup is zero configuration on the user side. You're gonna see a second. So for this purpose, I'm gonna download the Windows version here. Okay, I'm gonna download the Windows version. Let's see a second here. Okay, I'm gonna click on it. You fill in information, exactly the same information here, but you're not going to get a license. You don't need license. We just want you to enter information so you can download it. So enter the name and email address, excuse me, and also you enter your state. Okay, in this case, I'm in a category, whatever. In this case, I put personal here, and country, United States, and again wherever you are, and then you click on submit or continue with that. Then click the button here, and I'm not going to go to that because I already done that. So you're going to download that. So once you get it downloaded, and so that's your set aside. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to be installing. So we're not going to install the viewer. So next step we're going to do is actually we're going to X out here. We're going to install the VNC server on this Mac. Okay. So you click out of there. Click out of here. So again, so where is that downloaded to? In this case, we can run from here, but I'm gonna go to the download place where it gets downloaded to. Click on Go, Download, okay, and as you can see, the PKGs, that's the one that I downloaded. I did it 2 times anyway. So we're gonna double click on the PKG package here. That is, you can see the Mac version is the viewer, but I did download the PC version already. So although you see the viewer on Mac over here, but you double click on that PKG file here. So double click on it, and as you can see, the trial key I already got that. So double click on that. I'm just gonna launch the installer here. You click on continue, okay, and then read that and continue again, and you agree with the terms. And then in this case, the package has both server and also with the viewer. I would install both of them. You never know. You're gonna use this Mac to connect to the RealVNC server anyway. So why don't you just let that install as default in both of them. So I'm gonna click continue here. Okay. So I'm gonna click continue and install here. So by default, use accept default. The default is actually gets installed on the application. So click on install application folder. So enter your credential. Of course, you need to make sure you have the admin access on your computer here. In this case, my username is actually administrator. Enter a password here, and then you click on that to install. So it's going to take quite a bit of time. I'm not going to quit the video, so it's going to take this movie a little longer, but it shouldn't be too long anyway. So just want you to see the progress here. So installation is going to take quite a bit of time. It's not too slow anyway, but once the server set up, you're gonna so you're gonna get done in a few seconds or a minute or two. Not should be too long. So we're gonna see the progress here, and so I should have stopped the video, but anyway, so it shouldn't take too much time on this anyway. So I'm gonna move this aside here. Okay, set it. So I do this because I'm gonna open the license. So it's done now. Right here, see, there's a link here. If you haven't done the license try, click on the license try part that we did earlier. And then you're gonna be given a chance to go back to a website. And in this case, you already got the license here, and you're gonna click the below here that you already applied for license, which is a trial version. So you're gonna click on that. Okay. So I'm gonna click on that, and then we click on next. Okay. Okay, let's see here. So I'm gonna open the trials version here. Of course, I'm hiding my email address. So my apology. It's this is demonstration. I got the serial number. I mean the key, the trial key already. As you can see, at 30 days, and this trial, I'm gonna copy it. It's kind of sticky here, so it doesn't want to do that because I'm doing the remote recording on that Mac here. So I'm going to paste again. Okay, finally, click on next. So I'm gonna enter the credential again, okay, to install the license here. And then you're gonna click OK here. Okay, you can see it's installed. When you have the enterprise version, you have both 128-bit and 256. I'm gonna choose 256, the strongest encryption here anyway. But you do have the personal, you don't have that option. So we select that encryption. Okay, and then I click on next. Okay, and then you click on apply, and then click on finish. Okay, let's see. Try again. Okay, done. Oh, there's pop up here. Okay, we'll get down to that in a second. So I'm gonna X out of here. Okay, make sure. Okay, so we have a pop up here, and so in this case, it asks you. This screen asks you for the update. You want to install the update of the software. In this case, you don't need. You just install it, so you don't need to do an update anyway. Click on no. And the error here, the reason why we have the error, in your case, you're not going to see that. Reason because I enabled the Mac OS X uh, into built-in VNC because screen sharing. That's why we have a conflict. So Mac built-in VNC server called screen sharing use the same port, which is port 5900. So in your case, you can accept as default. You're not going to see this error. I do it on purpose to show you that sometimes you need to use both screen sharing and also VNC server here. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to fix that. Again, we're going to modify the port. So VNC server is port 5900, not 5950, just like in the diagram. Okay, I'm going to kind of X out of here a second. I'm going to click on, let's see here. As you can see, the IP address is to install to, okay, it's 5900 here. So click on more, and then let's see, click on options here. So that's gonna go. I'm gonna click on options here, and you're gonna click. I'm gonna enter the credentials again. Okay, so of course you're gonna modify them, and click OK. Okay, in this tab here, it's not a lot anyway. So we're gonna move a little bit so you can see clearly. Okay, and we click on the connection. As you can see, by default it's 5900. That's why it has the conflict. And also we have port 5800. So this is the Java version that if you want to enable so you can access through the browser. I would not recommend it, and I will, although I not, we can enable it, but we are not going to open the port to enable connection through the browser. For basic security, you want to use the client application, not the Java. So we can leave it as is. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the port. Okay, we're gonna change. That is the beauty of the VNC server. So we click on. Let's see. Get in there a second. Click on the permission here. Okay. By default, it disables guest access. You never want to enable the guest access when you set up remotely. Okay. So admin is the one that I'm using. So of course you need full control here. So there's only one account in here in this Mac here. Of course you can set up multiple using. Like authentication here, this is what it is. Okay, it uses Mac authentication, which is the username I'm using as administrator here. So the encryption is always on. So it's going to be using the VNC encryption, real VNC encryption. So by default, although it say that on, even when you turn it off, VNC would encrypt it anyway. So so you want to leave it on. Of course, you don't want to do turn off. And you click on overview on overview is like here second connection again. Sorry, and you see we're gonna modify the port here. So we're gonna so that we get the error out of it. So we're gonna change to 5950 here. Okay, that is for the VNC server here. 59. And you can see once you put 50, the Java is automatically, so it's kind of like a link together. It's gonna go to 5850. So it changed automatically to that. Again, Java we're not gonna be using it, and we just let it check. It's not gonna hurt to enable it because we're not gonna open the port. We're not gonna poke through the firewall to do that. So as you can see, the IP address. Second. So click on apply here. Okay. So the moment I click, so I'm gonna see the error. So I'm gonna click on apply after we change it. So we want to fix that. So After we change that, and then we click on apply. Wait a second. Okay. So we want to make sure that the port is correct. 5950, that's what we wanted. Okay. We no longer wanted the default 5900. Okay. And let's see second here. And so I'm gonna go click on apply right now. Uh, as you can see, it's fixed. It's green. That means no longer conflict. Okay. And you see, and the IP address again, we install on the internal computer. So the purpose of doing this is actually to install VNC server and put on the port 5900, 5950. And then we're going to click OK, okay, to get out of that. Okay, after that, I'm going to click on OK. Let's see here a second. And I try to click on OK. It doesn't go because the mouse is a little bit sticky here. Okay, that's it. So now we click on show here. So that message is gone. Okay. That's because we fixed that issues here. If you click on license here, so I just had that. So of course this has for the try for 5 desktop here, 5 so we can try it for 1 month here. It should be good enough. And then you're gonna exit out. Okay, that should be done. So the installation part is all set. So we're gonna get ready for the next step. We're gonna configure the router. Okay, that's the part. So that's the installation part should be all set. So we're gonna go to the next step to do the configuration.